Hi, I'm Grandmaster Stephen Del Castillo of KMMA. I'm the founding master instructor at KMMA, and I'm also a philosopher. And today I want to talk to you about habits and specifically what habits drive you. We know that positive or negative habits drive us to different realities, and they do it day by day. In his book by the same name, Darren Hardy calls it the compound effect. The fact that the difference between eating a burger and fries every day for lunch, or a salad, or a steak and salad, like are all very, very different as far as the effect that they'll produce over time. That day you don't see the difference, and that's why it can be so insidious. But over time, you can really begin to experience the positive results of positive choices, or of course, inversely, the negative results of negative choices. And this is true with all kinds of bad habits, but that's not the topic of today. Today, I really want to talk about the things that I do to focus my time, energy, and attention in the direction of where I want to go. Because we know ultimately, of course, that it is our vision and goals that pull us in the direction of our future. And we want to create the realities of our visions and our goals. But like John Maxwell said, to truly change the quality of your life, you have to change something that you do daily. And that ties to this idea of habits. So I want to share three frameworks. And I'm also going to probably share some stuff from James Clear's Atomic Habits. Um, Recently heard a podcast from him. I've read the book a couple times. Great book if you haven't read it. So is The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy, or The Slight Edge. Something Osen is also a great one on this topic. But I just want to share three specific frameworks that I use to focus my habits. And the first one is what I do every single morning before I come to work. And I want to tip of the hat to another author, Hal Elrod of The Miracle Morning. That's where I got this from. If you're a fellow entrepreneur, The Miracle Morning for Entrepreneurs is awesome. And what he teaches is that the things that we do first thing in our day set us up for the rest of our day. And so my first training evolution from like 6 to 8:39 in the morning is that, and he uses an acronym called SAVERS. The S is silence, the A is affirmation, the V is visualization, the E is exercise, the R is reading, and the S is scribing. So for me, that is that first thing in the morning, I start with my prayer and meditation time. I like reading scriptures. I like praying to God. And I also use a great app from John Eldridge called Pause App that I've recently discovered. And then for visualization, I do most of mine right in my planner. And that because I begin and end every day writing my goals. And I write the 5 targets for the day. And on the other side of the planner, of course, I have the big rocks. Dr. Stephen Covey coined the term big rocks. And what it means is the meetings and appointments, the things that are specifically attached to time. But that side for me always also has my airplane times, which I got from Darren Hardy's Insane Productivity course. The airplane time means the 90-minute blocks of uninterrupted focus time to do the quadrant 2 important work. Dr. Stephen Covey, the quadrants from the 7 habits. Nothing is new under the sun, but what you can do is assimilate great knowledge and information and apply it to make your life better. So that first framework is that miracle morning. I do those things, and after the visualization, I do my exercise. And in transparency, I've been just working my way back to that because back a few months ago, 4 months now, I had a pretty serious. I was whacked pretty hard. Probably most of you know that by a drunk driver, and I'm still kind of recovering from that. But I'm just getting back into my morning exercise rituals of walking, of weightlifting, of martial arts training, and just getting things going again. And then, of course, I read every day. Reading is one of the great ways that we get knowledge from people that we might otherwise not get to. And then scribing, where I get to write for others. I enjoy being an author and doing my daily blogging and the other writing that I do for my organization. So it's a great, positive, creative way to start every day. And then as I go into the next part of the day, the second framework I want to talk to you kind of is the planner, right? But it's the planner in the context of just planning your day in portions, right? And of course, by the way, if you're in a job that has one specific job all day, then it might be easier for your time to be focused. You know exactly what you're doing for those 8 hours or whatever. But if not, like what I like to do is break my day into 3-hour segments. So I have my 6 to 9 that I told you about. Then I got my 9 to 12. I got, my 9 to 12 often. It has an airplane time in it first, and then it has my 11 o'clock brief with my team. And then it has, uh, then some other things. And then I go into the 12 to 3, which is usually my office time and meetings and such. And then 3 to 6, where I do the power meeting, kicking off my team for the day, and then do some other sewing around the business generally, or go home and do some more work on my laptop. But then about 6 p.m., I usually punch out and begin the 3 hour block of quality time with my wife. And then after that, debrief with the team. And the structure helps me focus my time, energy, and attention. That's the important part. It's irrelevant what mine is, because you'll each have yours. But I try to keep it structured enough so that I'm not figuring out every moment of every day what I should be doing next. It's a way of focusing time, energy, and attention in the direction that I want to go, by making sure that I start with my day, my goals, and my targets for the day, and then making sure that those are the things that I focus on through these specific efforts throughout the day. And then the third framework, I think I also got this from Darren Hardy. I think this was your best year ever. But James Clear just talked about it in the podcast I heard yesterday, where he was just talking about, see, it's the small habits done consistently day in and day out that make the biggest difference. And he had a great quote. In fact, he said, you should plan big. In planning, go big, but in productivity, go small. Because his point was, you can't execute huge things, in a day or in a block of a day, but you can execute consistent things. And again, back to the example that those consistent things, the 1% improvement done over time, is even more powerful than the big, grandiose efforts. And then, even though we like to do some of those too. And then, in closing, I just wanted to share, like I shared with you that like, since the accident, the hard part has been getting back into the routine. So I'm using this tool that Darren Hardy told me about, the rhythm register. And the rhythm register is, so for example, 2 things I just added back to it were daily exercise and daily briefs and debriefs. Because they were habits that not executing well enough, not consistently enough. So they need to be on the rhythm register. And the idea is that on a rhythm register, you put all the habits that you want to do regularly. It might be daily, or you can say you want to do this 3 times a week, or, you're in control, and you tell the register what you want to do, but then you hold yourself accountable by checking when you do it, not checking when you don't, and at the end running the tally. Okay, I said I was going to do this 4 times this week. How many times did I actually do it? It helps us keep accountability over ourselves. And while we have if you're in a leadership position, you may have other people to hold accountable as well. You really can't. They can also only hold themselves accountable. But what we can do is teach and share them how to do it, as I've just tried to do for you in a really quick way. I hope this message has been helpful. Feel free to message. And of course, if you're a member of my tribe, I look forward to seeing you back around the dojo soon.